Good morning, everybody. I'm Fox 2 News meteorologist Chris Higgins. Thought it was time for a new corner update, and we'll get a fresh blog started with this. Also, a video update. This is being recorded just after 9 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, January the 20th. The weather system that rolled through last night and into early this morning has now progressed mostly off to the east. The main slug of moisture has pushed away, as you can see, across Indiana into Kentucky, with another piece of energy splitting off and lifting to the north. We've actually got some thunderstorms embedded in that area of rainfall over southern Iowa and northeast Missouri, with the first severe thunderstorm warning of the season issued earlier this morning for areas just west of Quincy and Hannibal, with the potential for quarter-inch diameter or quarter-sized hail with that thunderstorm. It's a small storm, but it's nonetheless capable of producing a brief burst of some large hail. The rest of today looks like clouds and drizzle and fog. Outside chance of an isolated shower or a thunder shower, but I think drizzle and fog will keep us covered for the rest of today before we await our next storm system, which is already starting to take shape out over the Rockies. The surface reflection of the lead storm system number one, still out here in eastern Kansas and northwestern Missouri. What's going to happen here is the upper level energy is actually pulling away to the north and northeast rather rapidly. That's going to leave the low, or what's left of it, behind to dissipate, and the reflection of what's left of that low will track east-southeast along the stationary boundary, or nearly stationary boundary, which shows up very well once again today on the surface plots. You can see the boundary running from near Kansas City over to just south of Columbia to south of St. Louis, between St. Louis and Farmington, and then down into southern Illinois near Cairo. North of that front, easterly winds keeping the cooler temperatures in the 30s and the fog locked in place, while just south of the front, look at these temperatures right now, well into the 50s. Fort Leonard Wood, West Plains area, 56 degrees, 54 degrees at Vichy, 55 out at Lake of the Ozarks right now. So this little warm pocket will follow the low to the east-southeast. Anywhere south of that low's track will warm into the 50s today. If you're north of that track, 40s and 30s. I think for the most part, the metro area, metro St. Louis area, down through about Jefferson County and all points north, will stay on the cool side of the system today. So look for highs between 40 and 45 with clouds and fog and patchy drizzle through the rest of this afternoon. Moving over to the model depiction of events for today and tomorrow. The system at 500 millibars, we're looking at 500 millibars on the new morning NAM. This is the initialization panel. The 500 millibar vortex that is supporting the surface system and the rainfall this morning, centered over western Missouri, initially fairly strong, but as we push this forward in time, notice how it lifts to the north and weakens as it heads up into Iowa and northern Illinois. That's why I expect us to pretty much be left with just drizzle and fog for the rest of the day today. As that lifts away to the north, tonight we go with fog and drizzle, generally not a whole lot of energy available in the atmosphere. But as we go into tomorrow, and especially tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening, another piece of Pacific energy rolls into the southern plains. This one is further south. It is stronger, with a much stronger closed circulation developing at 500 millibars down to the south of St. Louis. When systems come out this compact, this well organized, and this tight, they are very capable of producing extreme amounts of vertical motion, surprisingly strong amounts of vertical motion with such a short wavelength. As a result, the vertical motion and the upward motion generated to the north and northeast of this low center will be quite impressive for a system of its size. Here's the NAM surface chart for the same time period, corresponding with that upper level chart. Surface low pressure, as mentioned, out here across eastern Kansas, western Missouri. Strong thermal boundary or stationary front extending to the east. You can see the easterly winds contrasted by the southerly winds south of that front. I'm going to take you forward now through the day today. Notice how the low really just kind of falls apart. The energy with that low, the upper level system, pulls away to the north. As that happens, the surface system will weaken and kind of shear out, and that's going to prevent much of a northward push with the temperatures. So low 40s at best for the St. Louis metro area. As I mentioned earlier, the warmer air will stay locked to the south. That will set the stage for the next system to develop. This one will develop much further to the south in response to system number 2. And you can see that energy comes out, and we get rapid cyclogenesis or surface storm development out here over northern Arkansas during the day tomorrow and into tomorrow evening. If this were a colder air mass, we would be looking at a significant snowstorm. but it's just not quite cold enough at any level of the atmosphere to be concerned about snowfall. What I am concerned about is flash flooding because with such a tight temperature gradient at the surface and at all levels of the atmosphere and with such strong, warm, moist advection into that thermal boundary, this will become an extremely rich and very efficient rain producing system, and I expect flash flooding to be a real big concern along and south of Interstate 70 in Missouri and Illinois by mid evening tomorrow as this storm system wraps up and pushes to the east. And following up on that flash flooding threat and concern, watch as the model prints out the rainfall with the system following it to the north and northeast. The darker purples there are between 1 and 2 inches of rain. The blues represent a quarter to half inch of rain. And you can see that area lifting to the north through the St. Louis area. So widespread 1 to potentially as much as 3-inch rainfalls are likely across much of southeastern and eastern Missouri into southern Illinois. This falling on ground that is still frozen just below the surface, and it's saturated above that. So anything that falls will go straight into runoff going into creeks which are still loaded with ice. As a result, I expect a pretty significant flash flooding event to develop late tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night across much of eastern Missouri and southern Illinois. And I don't want to forget about the weekend storm because it actually is the strongest overall system of the string of systems coming out of the Pacific. Right now I'm going to side with the Canadian model because the system has the same kind of look as the Christmas Eve and Christmas Day storm in the plains. The Canadian did an excellent job latching onto that in the hard left turn of the surface low pressure. As a result, I'm going to stick with the Canadian almost exclusively with this system right now, the way things stand. So as we put the maps in motion, we've got the 4-panel maps here. And you can see on the 500 millibar chart, this is valid for Saturday evening. Upper level storm, strong upper level storm coming out of Kansas, vorticity maximum down in Oklahoma, surface low near Kansas City, strong cold front arcing to the east from that low pressure. I expect a squall line to come cruising through St. Louis sometime during the day on Saturday. That will be followed by strong and gusty winds out of the west and southwest with lowering temperatures, although the temperature drop will probably wait until Sunday. Sunday looks like rain showers, potentially mixing with snow showers by late in the day with falling temperatures from the 40s down into the 30s. And I think into Monday, with the system still lingering close enough and plenty of wraparound moisture and instability aloft, that we could be looking at continuation of rain and snow showers into Monday as well. So checking the highlights now. The rest of today is all about the clouds, drizzle, and fog. The more significant rain is over with. High temperatures will stay in the 30s north, 40s central, and 50s south. Drizzle and fog on the way tonight with a low of 30 to 35. Then developing rain during the day Thursday. Some of that will be heavy at times, and there may be some thunderstorms mixed in. Flash flooding is definitely possible. High of 40 to 45. The best day of the week is Friday. It could be even a little sun on Friday. Saturday, thunderstorms return. Some of those could be strong. And then on Sunday, windy and colder with falling temperatures and rain showers, which probably will change to snow showers by late Sunday evening and into Sunday night.